Welcome back. Wipe the crab cake off your face, or wonton. What was it even? A nacho, wonton? We don't care. Now, we're going to set the food aside for a moment and have a vitally important conversation, especially if you are in some way feeling like our key protagonist is feeling. We are going to unpack a very powerful theme that comes up in the new psychological drama, Die, My Love, starring the incredible Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson. It sounds like they've got great chemistry. The film follows a new mother, Grace, who moves with her partner to a rural home and then shortly after giving birth begins to unravel emotionally. Her mood shifts, her behavior becomes increasingly erratic, and her relationship starts to fracture as she struggles with very severe postpartum mental health challenges.
Oh, I've been hearing a lot about the baby blues, as they call them in the streets. Now, while the film explores an extreme version of what can happen, it does open up a really important conversation, and a real-life one at that, about postpartum depression. But first, let's have a look at the trailer before we get into the chat.
She don't like her eggs all runny. She looks down her nose at money. She gets it on like the Easter bunny. She's my baby, I'm her honey. I'm never gonna let her go.
Cheryl mentioned that you're a writer.
I don't do that anymore.
Stuck for inspiration?
I'm stuck between wanting to do something and not wanting to do anything at all. Where are you now?
Is everything all right? Yeah. By the way.
Main character is about to batter her husband to death with a hammer.
Shut up.
Grace, if you're having a hard time,
I feel fine.
Grace. Grace. Stop it.
Wow. Sheesh, that was an emotional roller coaster. Now, to help us find some sort of balance, or at least guide us through this conversation and unpack how we can, of course, in fact, show up in real and supportive ways, we're joined by Dr. Lené Le Roux, a mental health medical doctor with a special interest in perinatal care. Doc, welcome, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about this.
I'm terrified after seeing that profile, but I'm so glad. I know, yes, we are using a very extreme example, and we'll keep reinforcing that. But I think, unfortunately, for the woman that is sitting in the eye of that storm, it's that intense.
Yeah.
Everything else changes. Maybe we can start with what pushes that button. It is so common, yet we don't talk about it. We talk a lot about pregnancy. We talk a lot about postpartum care for the baby, very seldom for the mental health of the mother. What is going on here?
Yeah, I think it's something that you're not prepared for during antenatal classes. Everyone talks about, like you say, the feeds and how you're going to sleep and nappies and how to do this. But there's no sort of care for the mom after the baby's born. Very focused on the pregnancy care, mom's health, body. Afterwards, there's not as much support.
Sure.
And postpartum depression can really present any time in the first year after a baby is born. So it's something that needs to be discussed right throughout that first year of the baby's life, and not just directly after birth at the first checkup. Are you okay? Are you doing emotionally okay?
And it's the sounding board that's going to have to be that, and you're going to have to tread lightly in that space. But I can speak from my own mental health struggles that when you're in it, to identify it is often the most difficult thing, because you're just feeding off that emotion. So you do need a sounding board to be able to, but that requires constant communication.
Right, I get it. And also the hormonal fluctuations that happen, it's not always immediate. So in this movie in particular, I mean, Jennifer Lawrence, her portrayal of it all is incredible. And you were saying she is a mother and she dealt with postpartum depression.
Yeah, she's been quite vocal in the last few weeks on social media about her own struggles with the postpartum period, and also just the change of role. I mean, a mom doesn't just change in terms of the hormonal structure in her body. Her brain starts to change, prune, make new connections, but her body and her role in terms of taking care of a mom, of a baby, taking care of her family, being a wife, somebody maybe working like Jennifer.
The 5-year plan, the 10-year plan, what's happened to it?
It all changes, and so that's a whole new role that someone's taking on, in addition to taking care of a really small, needy little human.
Yeah, you're keeping it alive.
And that's how I treat it. Pass or fail. Are your kids still alive? You're a good parent. You're winning in this world, because we always feel like we're failing. And I can't wait for you to get to that phase of life.
One day.
It's just the most joyful. No, but you do get the rewards through that space, because you get this depth of connection. It's almost ironic, because you get the 9 months to prepare to a degree physically so much. It's a miracle, one of the greatest miracles in science, looking at matter being created. It's amazing, but you don't often become mechanical about preparing yourself mentally. So we don't want to do this retrospectively. We want to start. When does this conversation start, actually?
The earlier the better. I mean, when you're even thinking or planning to conceive, it's something to think about, especially if you are someone with a history of mental health struggles, or that you're vulnerable, or you've struggled with a previous pregnancy. It should be discussed before even conception, if you can. We don't always know, and sometimes pregnancies are unplanned, and then it's just about stepping in as soon as that. And it is important to look at the mom's physical health, because the physical health obviously impacts the mental health as well. But we do need to be looking at mom's mental state throughout the pregnancy and picking up things early if we can.
Wow.
Otherwise, it's an avalanche. And you think about what is going on in the mind and the body in those first 3-4 days alone.
Oh, I can imagine. So what actually happens with that link and connection between baby and mom?
So do you mean if a mom is depressed?
If a mom has,
Yeah,
postpartum
so
depression.
moms, it is very important for the baby to be in close contact with mom, to be around mom, and for mom to be responsive to the baby. So it's not necessarily about being a perfect mother and doing everything correct. It's really just about being attuned to baby's needs. And when somebody's very depressed, very withdrawn, possibly can't even, can't think of holding the baby because they're feeling so detached. That does impact a baby, and it does impact the baby's development. But the good thing is that repair is possible. So even if there is rupture in that attachment, rupture in how you're bonding with your baby, the repair is possible. And so supporting these moms mean the connection with the baby can be repaired fully.
And because there's some massive biology there, and when you see a link between a mother and child, and what's the unspoken language is just the most beautiful thing to witness. Triage, let's start there then, in terms of now we are in the midst of this. Highlighting something wrong, I would assume, is not the right way to go about this. What do we do if we are part of that support structure and we're in that eye of the storm with our partner? What do we do first?
I think one of the first things to try and help with is just the physical support, taking a little bit of the physical burden off the mom. So preparing meals, making sure bottles are made.
Nighttime feeds. Expressing, that was a great way for me as a dad to get the bonding time as well. I hate the fact that dads just get to change nappies. I want to see more than poo for the first years of the life, but I love that.
Yeah, so taking over some of those physical responsibilities for the mom will really, really help already. But the problem is when you are depressed or very anxious, moms still don't sleep. So the babies will be awake at night, mom will go to sleep because dad's taking care of it, mom can't sleep. So it's not just as easy as, oh, I'm giving you 4 hours to nap, you should be better now. No, it's also about the emotional
problems
support.
for you, don't worry.
And maybe just recognizing that, are you okay? Can I help you with anything? Asking the mom what she needs, and putting enough support around her that she finds helpful.
Yeah, lift that mental load as well when it comes to responsibility.
And we touched on this yesterday as well. Offering someone the opportunity to ask you for help is not helping them.
Yes.
You either identify what needs to be done and do it, or you create an environment where the person can comfortably ask you. But making that kind of offer is just adding another pressure onto them, because now they must discern what's wrong. They must discern the answer and come to you and ask for the help. So I think we're starting to learn here. It's taken about 12 years of doing this show, but I'm starting to understand. We are going nowhere.
Absolutely, and that's such great advice. Thank you so much for also offering some sort of relief that mothers, yes, it is possible for you to rebond with your babies and repair that relationship if you started off a little bit rough. But the movie, Die My Love, is intense, and it is opens up the door to a conversation that so many families really need today. So if this conversation resonated with you or someone that you love, reach out to a qualified healthcare professional or a trusted support structure, because help is available and it's there for you.
And Dr. Lené, thank you so much for helping us unpack this morning. We are stepping very lightly, and we'll continue to do so when we return to this in just a moment.